Yeah, Stella's right below me snoring, but oh my gosh, what a night. When she's awake, if she's around me, she's always crying. Even if she goes outside and lays on the porch, she'll just lay there and cry and cry. So, I know she's in pain when she's laying down. And so when she's snoring, it's a relief for me. It's like, oh, good, she's asleep for a minute. Because it's a lot. It's a lot on your brain, on your psyche, to have someone there just crying and crying and crying, and you can't do anything to help them. I keep trying to explain to her, it's pain. We all have pain. Pain won't hurt. It won't kill you. It's just, it sucks. Pain sucks. And, when you even go in further, to know how much of this is all done to us on purpose, how much, of the poisons and everything that they do to us, they enjoy watching us suffer. It's I don't know, it's just so weird. So weird when you wake up and you realize what this world really is. Like, even as a kid, when, they were talking to me, because remember, your brain is not just coming up. It's not in there just formulating thoughts. It's a receiver. It is receiving information from out here. And depending on where your resonance is in your vibratory ability, wherever you are resonating in your vibration, that's the information that you are picking up on. So if you are picking up on, hateful and angry kind of stuff, it is a low vibration kind of situation. You can pull yourself out of there. It's not, it feels like a trap because you don't know it's really there. You don't know what you're a part of, but you can pull yourself out of it. But when you get up there more and you get more high vibration information coming in, it is, it makes you see things in another way. Just like when I was a kid, and they were telling me that this place, that we were here because the aliens, that we were an experiment, and the stuff that they were lying about. I knew it all had to do with aliens, but when I told people, nobody would listen to me, nobody would believe me. But I stayed focused on aliens and stuff like that my whole life, which got me, called a crazy person, a conspiracy theorist, but I knew. They were talking to me, so I knew. And but still, I had no idea until going through this experience what it all really meant. Like when you start really finding out about the chemicals and what they're doing with the chemicals and the diseases and just the different areas. And like my mom just told me that there's a medicine you're not allowed to talk about. It starts with the I. And everybody in India takes it because they have a lot of parasites. They have like dirty. This is another thing that's just so sad, is these third world countries were developed on purpose. That's what they're trying to do here. Those ones were already done. They want to create the whole planet. But they want to reduce the population a lot and then, cram them all into a space where they can watch us all the time on cameras, with their own phones spy on us. They listen to all our conversations. It's weird too, is because, at first I wasn't getting any comments, right? I didn't think I was. I wasn't getting notifications. I wasn't getting nothing. And then somebody had emailed me and said that they had commented and that they needed to talk to me. It was very desperate that they needed to talk to me. And, I don't know, suspicious as I am, it's like, why? What do you need to tell me? And, be aware that I'm surveilled by the Secret Service. I'm already watched by them. So if you have something secret to talk about, don't bring it to me. Take it to somebody else, because I don't want to be involved. And, but I went into my thing to try and figure out like the notifications. And so I set it to notify me. So now I see when notifications come, I'll see like somebody commented and what they said. But the weird thing is like I can go in, the notifications will say, oh, this person just said this, blah, blah, blah. And then I can go into the place the video where they commented and it's not there. And I can go in, and there's been ones I've been sent an email of a comment, and I'll go into it and it's not there. So I start being like, they're doing something to my comments. They're removing them or something. I don't know what's going on. So if if you've said something, it's very likely that it was removed and I didn't see it. There's one person who's sending me a bunch of stuff right now, but since it's being removed on purpose by whoever, the gods of YouTube who oversee it, are removing stuff, I don't really want to go into the stuff. I went and looked up some of the stuff that you said, and, it's stuff that I know is going on, and it is very scary what's going on. And and I know a lot of people, when they find channels like this one, they're talking about it, they want, what's scary is like, it's traumatic when you start seeing what is happening. And that's why I keep trying to talk about what's going on and what's really going on are different. Yeah, there's a lot of really, really bad things that are going on, and they are out to kill us. And, did I even finish the thing about the India? I think because, they want to turn us all into this third world country, but everybody there takes that for parasites, and so nobody is sick with anything else. And there was another one too, in Africa, where everybody takes that malaria medicine. But they lie, and they can tell us anything on the news. I mean, they can show you footage. I've seen footage. I mean, even with Tom Hanks, they used footage and pretended like it was current. It was like 2 years old. They keep doing this kind of crap. It's so that's what, it's all fake. It's all illusion. And it can get you really caught up, because that's what they've done, is this mind control to keep you so terrified, to keep you so on edge, and to keep you so traumatized. And, everything is, just messes with your head. Yesterday, even, I saw this cartoon that is a new cartoon on Netflix. I didn't watch it, but, on Netflix, you go and, I'm on someone else's Netflix, but, even though you should completely ban it, but I just stopped paying. Anyway, so when you go across there, it will show like a trailer. You go to the next one, and it shows like a trailer above it. And so this trailer came on for this cartoon called Inside. I think it's called Inside Job or something like that. But the trailer, it tells all this stuff that's the truth. And I don't know if they're trying to market it as, ha ha ha, this is such a joke, it's so funny. But everything was the truth. Reptilian shapeshifters, weather control, doing rituals to, all of that stuff. But they just play it off like, oh yeah, why would we talk about it if it was real? Well, that's, everything's an illusion. Everything is to trick us, to mess with our heads, so that we are confused. And the more confusion, the more anxiety, the more, they've got the super pill, whatever. They've got a pill for everything, right? So they want to keep you in that state. They want to keep you sick. And then they know when you're kept in that state, it messes with your hormone, cortisol and stuff like that. So it depletes your immune system. So it's easier to get you sick. So then they can bring in these, these pandemics and stuff, and, make them productive. Because people, I mean, when you go out, I'm still blown away by that shopping trip the other day when I went into the store, and I was used to going into stores, and they're not, being some people who, this was everybody. It was so creepy. It was so body snatcher kind of, I don't know if you've never watched Invasion of the Body Snatchers, go watch it. Because it is the Donald Sutherland one. because, you know, it was always that these beings, and they would know who you were, and they would start pointing and stuff, and that's how it felt. I was feeling so anxious going through the store. It really felt like, oh my God, I'm just going to be grabbed up by these people. Dang it, they're going to hold me down and have the pod go around me. Yeah, it was creepy. It was so creepy. And I mean, there was a point where I was like, man, should I just put it on just to relieve my own stress? I was like, wow, I got to stand up for the truth. I've got to stand up for what's right, you know, and me not having it on is going to, you know, maybe empower someone else to feel like it would be okay. And how nutty the people were. But when you see these people who are, you know, just out of shape, really, you know, they don't look healthy. And with these things, to think that that's going to save them, oh my gosh. No, what's going to save you is taking care of yourself, building your immune system, not covering it up. So, yeah, I know. People just don't understand how germs work. You go out into the world, like we've all done for however long, and you go out and you go do your stuff. You touch things that other people touch. You get their germs. You touch yourself. You know, germs are like, you know, how many cans of something have you touched, or boxes of cereal? That's a good one that you have touched. Some snotty-nosed kid just sneezed all over and put his hand all over, you know? Like, we have been around lots and lots of germs for a long, long time. But those little bits of germs here and there, you know, walking through, you know, where someone sneezed and there's one or two little particles or something, they're floating around. You get those little germs and it go inside of you, and then your body, when it's working well, goes in and it goes, oh, we don't like this. We're gonna build all these blood cells that are going to, you know, we're going to defeat this. We're not going to allow this to survive in here, because your body is smart on the inside, a lot smarter than a lot of people are on this part. But, you know, this part is being misled. They, you know, they're not thinking for themselves. And that is the consciousness, becoming aware, is to begin to think for yourself, to use critical thinking, to use logic, to look around and be like, well, if there was really a pandemic, wouldn't I know lots for this degree of what has happened on this planet, to shut everything down, to force these? Wouldn't I need to know like hundreds of people who have passed, maybe thousands? Like, wouldn't it be like a lot of neighborhoods emptying out? Like, you know, it's logic. Just start thinking for yourself. Start paying attention. Like, you wouldn't go to a restaurant. I mean, these people who think like, oh yeah, so I can go to a restaurant. So sick people can look up about Typhoid Mary. You know, look up about that situation. I even kind of think that Fucktard was, maybe he even did the Spanish flu. Maybe he, you know, maybe he's been around that long, you know. I said he did AIDS, which we already know. He's already been exposed about the AIDS thing. And, but, you know, these people, I believe, are a bunch of fucking relics. I think they're a bunch of vampires. They live off of human blood. They trade us out in the what would you call it? Galaxy, I guess. I even heard somebody today, she said that she worked for a conservative conspiracy theorist, which I don't know who she is. I tried to go in and see, you know, but I couldn't. There was somebody duetting or stitching her thing, so I couldn't find out who she was and see what more of the stuff she was saying. But she was saying this person who she worked for said that we are all on Mars presently, and that they are lying to us, telling us someplace different. But that's how crazy that this world is that it is all what you're told until you pull free and you start using your senses for your own self. Not because your senses are being misled. They're manipulating them. Your eye. I mean, when you go and you look up about, the CIA has released all of these files about consciousness. The FBI has released all their files about the paranormal and about aliens and stuff. Like, all this stuff is real. And so when you are, if you go into the ones with the CIA, you see all of their studies in consciousness and their testing and the testing of drugs and all of this stuff, and it has all been on, I just went blank. I started thinking about the giants, because I just saw a thing too where somebody was saying that because the giants are real and they're in Afghanistan. Well, they're all over. I think that if you watch the Missing 411, you start to be like, oh, especially the hunter one. If you watch the Missing 411 with the hunters or read the books. But so in Afghanistan, it's well known that there's giants out in the deserts and the mountains, that they live out there. And that somebody was saying that the reason why the soldiers keep going out there and messing with them is because they kind of stay their distance. I think they still live off of people, probably animals. Who knows what they find to eat out there. I'm sure that they eat people. I mean, that was part of the thing with the giants, with the old Indian, the ancient, whatever their, they pass on stories. I don't even know what you would call it. They pass on the stories. And so the elders, the stories from the elders, whatever it would be called. But the giants would massacre them and eat them, that they were cannibals. Like, it was been well known that the giants were cannibals. So anyways, they were saying that maybe the army is going out there to get them, because that one that they killed, and they took it on the helicopter, and then all of those guys had to sign the NDAs or whatever, NDs, whatever they're called, and that they're trying to get the DNA to make super soldiers. But that is how much that we are messed with. Like yesterday when I turned on that Chappelle, the new one, I couldn't watch it for more than a couple seconds. I was like, that is not him. I even went and got old footage of him. And, I was married to somebody who loved him. Like, I watched him all the time. And so I watched all of his shows all the time and stuff, and was familiar with who he was. And this person who they're marketing now is him, is not him. And it's just so clear. The same thing as with Joe, same thing with Hillary, same thing with all these people, that they market him as someone else. But then once you become aware and you start looking and comparing, you start seeing through the illusion. But that's the whole thing about using your logic, using your common sense. Start looking at things from these other perspectives. And then you start to see how much of this is all a bunch of fuckery and fakery. And yeah, it is scary. It's very scary, it's like waking up in a nightmare. It's like you wake up in a nightmare and you realize, oh my God, it was always where I was. It's like you weren't even dreaming. It was real the whole time. That's what it feels like, And sometimes it is like, just having people, just having people around to, hold hands and to, be together and to have people to talk about it with, and it releases a lot of the fear, But all of this different stuff is all, it's affecting different people in different ways. Different things are happening in all different people's lives. And it is all to get them to wake up. So things can be happening in this person's life and something completely different happen in this person's life, but it's supposed to have the same effect, so that they wake up and start paying attention, so that they start understanding, because each soul had its own way of wanting to do this. And so, you can look up all of this stuff, and you can get yourself really terrified. And it is really terrifying how really deep this stuff goes. And you need to have an awareness. You need to understand. Once you see it, you don't have to keep on going and going and going. You can release it and then just start focusing on you. Stop focusing, like turn the TV off, turn off all of this stuff, turn people like me off, turn social media off, turn everything off. Just focus on your healing. And, there will be things, there'll be people you'll come in contact with that will trigger you. Different things will, well, I wouldn't say just turn all things off, because, you want to have some triggers. But the thing is so many of us, our minds have been so mind controlled that we are so part of the system. So, a lot of people, they're so enmeshed into the system that it is hard for them to even witness themselves, see their own stuff that's going on. They think it's the government, they think it's this or that, it's so-and-so who won't see the truth, it's, all of these different things that it can feel like, oh, there's so many things that are frustrating. And believe me, I'm irritable as can be at this point. Like, I am just like, oh my God, this is just so fucked. And, especially right now where it is starting to be, the death stuff is picking up steam, man. It's just sickening, just is absolutely sickening. And there's nothing that we can do, except for focus on ourselves and focus on our healing, because that is what you need to do for your ascension. Otherwise, it is being trapped into a place you don't want to be trapped into. Like, you can know all of the different stuff going on, and if you haven't done your own personal healing, it is like, then you know what the web is you're trapped in. You've seen the spider. It's coming for you. So you want to do your work on yourself to pull free from that. And then you'll know when it's working, when you are doing the work and you start seeing it and it doesn't bother you. Like, there's certain things that bother me, like knowing that how many people in my family are, and knowing what is to come. It's terrifying, especially when, there's so many people who are so divided and not talking and stuff. There's, it's definitely hard. But, the more that you can pull free from this illusion, the more you can, it's like you have peace in your soul. Like, so I can see this stuff, and some of it I have to go in and be like, okay, there is no death, this is an illusion. That even if they transition, this is not like I'm never going to see them again. And you have to, it's kind of like self-talk yourself into what's real and what's not real. Because what's not real is so formulated into us to believe that is real. Like, people really still struggle with that death is permanent. And, that is such a huge misconception. But so you'll know you're having effective healing when you're able to see some of the stuff and just be like, okay, well, it's not real. Nothing is real. Everything they say is not real. And everything they're doing to this planet is, they're not going to have success. They're being purged out. And, it is going to be just like after a storm, the aftermath, where all of the stuff is scattered, all the garbage and the carcasses of these evil people will all be scattered about, and we'll see it. It's all being exposed, and the storm is going. So, it can be a very frustrating thing if you just spend all of your time just looking for, going down rabbit holes and stuff like that, because it's all going to be exposed. And I don't want to say you're wasting time, because it might be part of what your journey is to help you wake up. But, it's very, very important to just work on you and get yourself in a good mental place. And you also know you're in a good mental place because things that people do won't have the same effect on you. You won't be as reactive. Like somebody can do something and you don't feel that same like, oh, I need to do this. Like we've been so reactive with each other, and it all has to do with this low self-esteem, vulnerability, all this childhood wound stuff. So that's why when you go in and you heal those things, you don't get triggered as easily by people. You don't have the same kind of, it kind of removes fear from you. So you will see signs that you're doing the work. You will start to feel better, but I'm not going to say you're going to feel good. Like I feel like I've done so much healing and I haven't had any real significant triggers in, I don't know, seems like a pretty long time. But you can get one at any day, at any time. And that doesn't mean like I don't get upset, that I don't get sad, that I don't cry. Like I was crying this morning. I've cried every day, I think, for the past couple of days. This is sad stuff, and that is an emotion. Why would I say that I can't feel sad? That would be saying that this emotion is bad. Sadness isn't bad. That is where you get out of this idea of these labeling. Oh, this is good, this is bad, this is good, this is bad. Having anger, that doesn't make you a bad person. That doesn't make you an unhealed person. But you have to find balance. It's finding balance in everything. And, like if I just sat here every day, all day long, crying and being sad, then I would need to be like, okay, I've got to pull myself out of this. I've got to do something to pull myself away from this, to get myself back in balance. And it could be, making a nice dinner for yourself. Maybe it's just having a glass of wine and sitting and listening to high vibration music. Whatever it is, to pull yourself out of that funk so that you can get yourself back into, okay, I gave a lot of time to this sadness, but that time is up now. And now I'm going to have to move away from that. It's coming at it kind of in a different, more logical way of looking at things to keep yourself in balance, because like this life, this world has been kind of like a roller coaster that we didn't have control over. It was just out of control and we were just on the ride. And when you're having to feel all of this stuff and it's just like, oh my God, it's never ending. So then when you can pull free from it and you start getting yourself into balance, and yeah, you can feel different emotions. That doesn't mean you are just, being depressed is different than being sad. Being angry is different than raging. You just start seeing things you start seeing things in a broader perspective. You start understanding like the nuances of emotion and in your control over your emotions, so that you can pull free when something is out of control. Just like with somebody who's got anger. Okay, you can have anger, but then what are you going to do with it? Are you going to rage? Are you going to break things? Are you going to go crazy? Are you going to shame other people? Are you going to call people names? Or what are you going to do with it? That is where you have to be like, okay, I'm angry. I've got anger. I need to go in and, sit with this. What is it bringing up? Why am I feeling this? And, a lot of the things that are going on are so out of our control. Yeah, it's going to bring up a lot of emotions. But all of those emotions, all of those triggers are all avenues for you to resolve. But don't get caught up in like, oh, I haven't healed anything because I was sad for the day. That's not true. You should be able to feel all emotions. You should be able to go through emotions and not get stuck and not have them being manipulated by someone else, because that's what we've been experiencing. So it's taking control of your own life, your own emotions, connecting mind, body, spirit, and starting to understand yourself on a new level. And that is what's going to ascend you into a new state of being, enlightenment. So anyways, work on you. Hopefully that wasn't too rambly and it made sense. I just felt like had so many different things I was trying to say. So you can still message me and stuff if you have questions and stuff. But yeah, if you're sending me certain things, it will be taken down. And, I am being monitored. I mean, Secret Service came to my house and told me and made me sign papers to investigate me. I have nothing to hide. So, and I know that we're being spied on all the time. I'm sure I was being spied on back in the day of Bush, who was a Republican, remember, because it's not one party that's bad. It's a whole group, and they infiltrate in all different areas. But, they've been watching me for a long time. So if you're trying to send me things, it probably won't go through. And, you're better off just, maybe if you need to expose it, to just find other ways to expose it. I can't. I mean, there's so many things that I get knocks for talking about, and it's stuff that I find really crazy, that I would never have thought that they would be focused on not wanting some information out. But yeah, but if you start understanding about this whole thing, go in and read the stuff about the CIA and consciousness and their studies and stuff, so you start seeing what they knew about us, so that you can learn about yourself, because they've been studying you, because this is an experiment. Everything here has been an experiment. So anyways, again, break free, and just work on you, and try and release so much of this painful stuff that's going on, because it's only going to get worse. I don't think it's going to get better for a while. And we still have some huge thing that's going to happen. It's going to be super scary. That is going to wake up, it's like the lights are going to come on for all these people. So, you got to have yourself in a good headspace to deal with this stuff. It's really vital to just work on you and keep your place, keep yourself sane. And there's just a lot of things you can do for yourself to keep yourself sane. And you can do them right in your own house, like getting down on the floor and exercising, turning on music and dancing, cooking good meals for yourself. Most people have a bathtub. Take a bath, light some candles. Just enjoy some of the time. Enjoy your time. Look for the positives. So anyways, I'll talk to you later. Bye.